Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. My name is Rochelle Slay or Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. And yes, today is Tuesday. So I hope everyone is doing well. This weather out here, I haven't been outside, y'all, but I see the weather on the TV and it is cold out there. I know some of us haven't been out since Sunday. So I'm here today during the week to help you kind of break up the monotony of the weather system, storm, wherever you're at. Hopefully everyone is staying warm and staying safe. So here on the Rise and Slay Morning Show, I'm here to talk all about the things in the vein of slay. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym that if you're in here in Slay Nation, you believe in this. That is stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community or sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. Now, Slay to Success is not a phase, it's not like a one time thing. It is a standard on which we do whatever we are doing. So, thank you so much. Hey, good morning, Leslie. Happy to Slay to you too. And y'all, I'm bringing the energy. I just came off of my workout, y'all. It was a 45-minute progression run, and I was cooking today. Okay. I was cooking, got 4 miles in, and then did some weight training. So if you are part of Slay Nation, you also believe in the mindset concept of moving your body. So hopefully that is what you're going to do. If you can't get to the gym and you normally get to the gym, listen, there's nothing about doing some jumping jacks or running in place, push ups, sit ups, something that says, I'm alive. Okay, so today, y'all, we are going to be talking about going beyond the crowd. Okay, this is where I talk about all things personal branding. I talk about power, talk about presence, and of course, we are talking about signature image because I created my own signature image. I'm in my own lane, doing my own thing, and I don't really think about what everybody else is doing because I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help others understand and believe that if you have something that you truly want to make happen, you've got to be able to be uncomfortable in your lane. All right. And so I see Warren. Hey, Warren. Happy Tuesday to you. Okay. I'm so glad that you are here with us this morning. Because you know what? This is gonna be a hot topic today. And Sandra, happy Tuesday. I see y'all on Facebook. You know, Facebook, you ain't trying to let me be great. I don't see the comments or whatnot. It's probably a function in settings, just like the lighting today. It's just what it is. All right. But I am here to help us to see where we're at and get us back on the right path if for whatever reason we've allowed others to say no, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So let me just give you a little bit of context to this. For those that don't know me, okay, and thank you so much for dropping in to Slay Nation. My name is Rochelle, and I used to be in the military. I served for 30 years, retired in 2021, and then I decided, you know what? If I'm going to make this next chapter the best chapter, I'm going to do me. So I had to go inside and really think about the energy. And I was like, I feel good. I feel really, really good. So what can I make of this? So I decided to create my own signature image. And when I did, it started to make people a little bit uncomfortable. Like, why is she wearing pink every day? All right. Why is she coming in here bubbly, excited, all brand? Because everything that I was experiencing was new. And I wanted to feel, all right, this what do you call that inner self. I want the inner self to be expressed. And I decided, okay, let me just go ahead and do me. And when I did, I saw that people were kind of shifting. They still shifted. And that's okay. That's okay. Good morning, Queen. Yes, happy Tuesday from LA. Warren is in LA. I know you got good weather out there because we don't have it out here. Okay. It is straight up cold. So thank you all for joining me live this morning. So when I started to embody what I really felt on the inside, and then it was being expressed on the outside, I started to see how I wasn't in the in crowd. Okay, the in crowd is safe. I used to be a group thinker. I used to be following the rules, playing it safe, especially when I was in the military, because there are some things that you have to do. And so I was scripted and I was just doing what I was told to do. And, a lot of times I was like, I was going with the flow. And then a few years before I retired, I was like, you know what? I'm going to introduce this whole thing called Slay. I'm going to, say this is the mission, this is the vision of what I want people to focus on. And people were like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I got a lot of pushback, y'all. I got a lot of hard resistance. They were like, that's not part of the commander's intent. I don't know what you're talking about. And I would explain to them in its entirety, and they still weren't getting it. And at times I felt like I should just go and just crawl back into the corner and be a hermit and not say anything and just, go with what everyone else was doing. But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it anymore. So I just said, you know what? Let me rip off the band aid and I'm just going to be uncomfortable all the way to the end. And I was. And then when I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to come out here and have this best chapter. And I wrote a book, y'all. And I didn't tell anybody that I self published until after the fact. And they were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, I am just expressing myself. And I like to write. I found that out too. So I started being more creative in what I do. And this show, people are scared to put themselves out there. All right. I was scared to put myself out there. I was on the Slay to Success talk show. Then I started adding a guest. And someone said, you really need to do a show on your own and talk about this personal branding. So that's how the Rise and Slay morning show came up. And people were like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, I don't know, because I like to. I guess that's just how it is. I just like to be out and about and show people what is possible. There is no cap. Okay. All the young people, they always say these types of words and the one-liners, right? There is no cap here. It's limitless on the way that you can put yourself out there. And so this is my way of learning about me. Okay. Sharing a little bit of stories, inviting you into the Slay Nation. So when I have a few notes here, because you know how I can get, y'all. I can get rolled up real quick. All right. And we be on a whole different topic. So as you hear stuff and you're like, you know what, I want to add on, please don't be shy about it. Okay. Because we're not shy here in Slay Nation. All right. So again, I was structured, I was in order, there's a hierarchy, there's a whole bunch of things. And it was a little bit predictable. I mean, yes, there were some cases where there were things that were happening that I was like, where did this come from? But on a day-to-day basis, I kind of knew what I was supposed to be doing. Put on a uniform, make it to work by, 7:30, depending on, what was going on. And then I'd have a day. Usually I wouldn't get home till about 6 o'clock at night. And then I would do it over again. Okay, that was just kind of the way it was. So everything that I had when I was in the military was already programmed. So I was like, well, when I retired, like, what do I need to do? Well, the first space that I went into was the closet. Because I was like, this closet is looking really sad. And I'm not sad. I ain't even mad. I'm actually happy that I was able to get to 30 years of service and still want to do more. So guess what? I was like, you know what? It's going to start in this closet over here. I took out everything that did not say Slay. Everything. If it didn't speak to me like that, it went into the bag. I don't care if it had tags on it, y'all. I was like, you know what? This is for somebody else. They in their season. My season right now is a total whole different look. So I started into the closet. All right. Then I started looking at my posture because I was like straight up, rigid, kind of inflexible at times. I was like, that's not me. I like to just go with the flow, and I like to, bring out my personality. Hey Kim, how you doing, Queen? Happy Tuesday. I see you on the Facebook side. And so, I had to figure out what my presence was going to look like. I sometimes walk into rooms, y'all, and the things that are in my head is like Coming to America. Has everybody seen that movie before? And then you're just kind of arriving into the space. Now, I'm a little bit over the top, and that's okay. But I'm like, I'm here, okay? And I want to have fun. And I hope everybody else wants to do the same. I'm smiling. If you're not smiling, that's okay. I'm going to be smiling. All right. Because I've already prepped myself to be in the space. All right. I'm working out, which I feel like that is like the beginning of all the things that I do. And if I can't work out, then yeah, you might see me a little bit like off. But I start from that place first. And then it's like, all the things that I do, it starts to make sense. Now, initially, it's not going to make sense to you. So, some of the places that I go to, people invite me to go. And I always think, do you know what you're doing? Do you know who you're asking to come in? Because I'm not a group follower and I'm not a group thinker. All right. And sometimes when I'm with people that I have grown up with into the military, they're all kind of thinking the same thing. And so I'm allowing them the space to start thinking differently, to start having a growth mindset, to really have a different perspective on the world at large, to learn new people, make new friends, create new circles. That is what I say when I'm walking to the room without saying a word. I'm not saying anything, y'all. And I have walked into spaces and people are like, oh my goodness, can you come over here and talk over here? Can you come over here and present over here? You can help us over here? And I'm like, if it's in alignment, and again, the word alignment is at the forefront of everything that I do. If it does not align with who I am and what I'm talking about, I graciously say, no, thank you. Because I don't have the time or the energy to waste on things that do not speak to me. And it's not being mean. It's not being, snobbish or, I think I'm better than anybody else. It's about where I'm at in this season of life. And so I am thinking about authority. I'm thinking about access. I'm thinking about credibility. All right. Those are the words that constantly are in my mind because I want to show up and show out. That's what I want to do. All right. I want to do that on a consistent basis because I feel like that's where I'm best at. I am really a presence person. I show you how I created my signature image and how, when you do that, you're not sitting around and waiting for people to tap you on the shoulder and tell you come in. You create opportunities on your own. You create them on your own. All right. And the people that are for you will be there for you. And the people that are not supposed to be there, they're going to think to themselves, she's different or he's different. They don't be coming in here and saying the same things. Why? Because we are one of one. All right. There should be that mindset where you are one in a million. You know that song, One in a Million? That's what you should be thinking about. You are one of one. So I know that, my presence can make people a little bit uncomfortable. It gives people a little bit of pause and think about, what is she doing? And how does she end up in this room? Okay, let me preface this too. I go out on a lot of networking events, all right? And I had to let some things go this year because I was like, my presence is strong. And when I come up in here, I don't feel the same type of energy. All right. So if I'm exuding more energy than I need to be in here just to lift up the space, I'm in the wrong room. All right. I am not trying to convince anybody to do anything. Hey, you're from okay, Kim's in Texas. That's right. And I'm sure that I don't know what the weather is like there, Kim. Did it snow there? Did it, sleet? I think there's a little bit of weather down there. If not, enjoy the weather there. Okay. because right now it is cold out here. I'm not going outside today. All right. So again, I am not trying to convince anybody to come into Slay Nation. I don't say you gotta come and watch me or you gotta like work and partner with me. No, 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 no. I don't do that. All right. Because that's again pressuring you and trying to tell you, hey, here is the things that we believe and you should believe in that too. You've already believe in that. And you're just like, I want a space where people will say, it's okay to be different. It's okay to have, a swag about yourself. All right. You have a certain level of confidence about what you're doing. And so, sometimes again, people don't like that. Okay. When people are sure of themselves, people don't like that. They don't like that because they're in the safe world. They play over in the safe side and they just think, oh, okay, I'm not going to get hurt. Nobody's going to say anything to me or whatnot. And I'm in a different mindset. All right. And again, I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. And honestly, I don't want to be. Unapologetically, I don't want to be. All right. So I don't follow the crowd. The crowd, you start to fit in, you start to blend in, and you start wanting to get approval. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to, like mess up with anything that's going on, and you lose touch with yourself. That's what's going to happen. You lose touch with yourself. And in reality, you're really editing or minimizing your voice. You're dressed to fit in instead of expressing yourself of really what you want to do. And it's messing with you. And then again, your presence becomes borrowed. It's not owned. I'm all about ownership. I own my voice. I own my presence. I own my authority. Y'all, I created authority outside of the rank. How was that? On my own. On my own. Yes, I had a bunch of stripes when I was in the military, right? And then leadership was recognized. And I put that out on a post on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn every day, y'all. So that's what I'm doing. All right. But my leadership was recognized through stripes. And then I started to learn like that in itself, that's not leadership. Leadership does not need to be recognized by stripes and ranks and grades and titles and positions. It's recognized by image and presence. That's why that's what in the space that I live in and what I'm doing. All right. So Slay Nation is built up fully, authentically, and holistically from the mind, the body, the image, the presence, all aligned, all right, and all owned. So, again, the standard that we live here in Slay Nation is slaves to success is not optional. When we're slaying to success, it is not optional in here. People recognize us when we walk around. They do. Because there is a thing or they can't put their finger on it. It's an X factor. All right. And a lot of people are just like, what's this all about? And when they get to know you, they're like, man, they're of substance. They're of substance. They've been through some things. They had a lot of different experiences. They have a lot of skill sets. All right. I can just run around all day and do what I do and not even think about it. All right. People are like, how do you make this all happen? It's skills. It's skills, baby. And you got them too. Okay. Kim said it's 27 degrees. Oh, yeah. That weather down in Texas is a little iffy. Because I remember I went to tech school and, I was like, what's going on down here? This weather is different because it's a straight shot from like North Dakota or, from South Dakota and it comes all the way down. So I was like, oh, yeah. So please stay warm out there, Kim. Okay. So when you're showing up fully, confidence isn't wobbling. Your influence starts to last. Authority is recognized without explanation. I talked about stop explaining yourself last week on the last show. Okay. So again, we don't explain ourselves because people just won't get it. All right. And then you're going to find yourself like frustrated and maybe a little bit disappointed that they don't really know where you're coming from. So Influence is positional. Let's start there. Okay. Let's start with that topic. I know I'm already 20 minutes in. All right. Then we may have a little bit longer show today, but that's okay. Influence is positional. All right. So people listen because of where you sit. Okay. People will start to listen from where you sit. People look at your bios and their resumes. So at first, influence is positional. And, it can get to your head a little bit. I remember like people were not calling me chief anymore. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Then I had to realize embodied influence is different. Embodied influence is different. All right. It doesn't require permission. I didn't ask anybody to do what I'm doing right now. I just felt like it was something that I need to do. It was like a calling for me. I was like, let me just share what I'm going through and help somebody else out. All right. It shows up in how we speak, how we listen, how we decide, how we move through uncertainty. People feel it before you even say a word. They trust it because it's consistent. You don't turn it on and off like a light switch. You are it. You are it. So embodied influence is different. Just keep that in mind. When influence is embodied, you're not trying to convince anyone. Your clarity does the work for you. I'm very clear on what I'm doing. Everything I do is intentional. It is planned out to a T. If someone says, hey, I need you to come and, like help us out in this objective, they still be using these words, queens and kings. They still be talking like lines of efforts and all this other stuff. I don't speak like that anymore. Because they say, hey, we have a special project or a special initiative, I'm very clear and I'm like, okay, what am I wearing? That's the first thing. And it could take up to 2 weeks for me to decide which outfit that I'm going to wear for the certain space that I'm in. And then I'm like, okay, what are we going to be talking about in here? All right. I customize, but then it's in the slave way because I don't know anything else different. All right. So I'm very clear. Why does presence matter than being in the room? Okay. Why does presence matter more than being in the room? Being in the room is physical access. Presence is energetic and intentional. You can sit at this table and still be invisible. Okay? You can sit at the table and still be invisible. I've seen it. There was plenty of people that were sitting at the senior leader positions. And now when I'm like out and about, I see people at the decision-making tables and I'm like, what's happening here? You just sitting there. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay. All right. Jim. Oh, hey, Chief. What's going on? All right. This is one of my favorite chiefs is on here watching live. And he says it is 17 degrees in Georgia. Georgia. And it ain't supposed to be no 17 degrees. That is not a thing. Okay. And he says, I think they are reacting to how you make them feel about themselves. If you're making people uncomfortable, it's because you cause them to see themselves differently. This is a word. Okay. This is a whole word. I can't even talk. Because it is true. They see themselves differently. I have had people tell me, oh my goodness, like explaining to me why they wore something and that they didn't want to wear it. Like, come straight up on me and say, oh no, I have a necklace like that and I just didn't know if I should wear it or not. So I just didn't wear it. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Hold up. Stop what you're doing. All right. You're feeling some sort of a way. All right. So the next time I need you to think about what you're feeling and go with that. Stop doubting yourself. Stop putting yourself into a box because I'm not a box person. Okay. You might want to put me in a box. Which is that's a whole thing, y'all. You may want to put me in a box. This queen is not in a box. Okay. I don't know. I make another box. You try to put me in a box, I take that box and make it into another box. Okay. So you can sit at the table and still be invisible, or you can walk into a space and immediately shift the tone without saying much at all. Okay. And I know some of you have experienced this. All right. So I want you to continue to do that. All right. Don't think about it, be about it. So presence comes from self-trust, it comes from regulation, it comes from awareness. It's your ability to be fully anchored in who you are, not scanning around for approval, not shrinking yourself to fit, not performing for relevance. All right. We've all been in performance mode. All right. We're not doing that anymore. We're choosing to have a presence long after they forget who else was there. Too many times, I'm like, oh, because people will come, to me and they're like, you're the pink lady. You're the pink lady. I'm like, yeah, I heard you speaking at X, Y, and Z, or I was at a networking event and I saw you in the room. And I was like, yeah. So they remember you. All right. And you got to be able to stand in personal authority when the labels start falling away. I'm no longer a chief. Okay. That was a role and a position that I played in my previous life. And I'm all good. Okay, I'm all good. Some people still call me chief. And I'm not saying don't call me, but I'm not expecting it. All right. Yeah, stop worrying about what others think. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. And if you start worrying about it, then you need to start doing things differently. I don't be worried about anything about like that. Okay. I got our son. I be worried about him at times. Okay. Because he's 15 and he's only child. And, it comes a lot of things with that. But on a regular basis, I don't be worrying about all that stuff. Oh, good day to you too. Okay. We've got V Tan House 1839. How you doing? Thank you so much for being on the YouTube side and watching us live today on Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Okay, so we're standing in personal authority when these labels start falling away and we're like, oh, what is going on? Because this is the real work that we're doing. We're doing the inner work. And when these titles start falling away, so does external validation. There's no rank, there's no applause, there's no automatic respect to lean on. All right. We are creating authority without all that. And personal authority is the decision to stand anyway, to speak without needing to be introduced. Okay. To move without waiting to be chosen, to lead without a badge confirming you're allowed. It's rooted in self-definition. You decide who you are before the world does. And that's when your influence becomes unshakable, unstoppable, unmovable. You know what I mean? So you really have to think about it, okay? So if you're in this season right now where you feel like you don't fit, you don't belong, people don't get you, you're just like they're putting you in a traditional box, okay? Don't panic. Don't lose control. Don't go off the rails, y'all. In fact, you should lean into it a little bit more because what you're doing is building a door to something new, into a space where no one else has been in or no one else has done. And it could feel lonely at times. It could feel uncomfortable. It can feel like you're, out in the wilderness on your own. But I can guarantee you there are people looking for you. There are people who are saying, who's doing kind of similar things like me? All right. Who's doing similar things like me? I want to be with them. Like, how can I find these folks? Well, you got to step on out here. You got to step on out. Okay. And just look at it from this way. When the in crowd doesn't want you or just say, Oh, look at them. They don't know what they're doing. Oh, they're not doing it like we are. Or what is going on? And listen, I created a business and it's different. It's untraditional. I put my booth up. I have a vendor booth, y'all. And I put a vendor booth up, and clearly it's evident that out in my own world. All right. I'm not caught up in the matrix. There's a matrix going on. All right. Where everybody's looking at everybody's stuff and going, yeah, we're like right in the same way they are. And then when I put mine up, it's like a whole I've been like, it's like this whole grandiose thing. And I'm like, it's pink down. It's in your face. It's come and talk to me because it's very curious. It's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing my own thing. I absolutely love it. Run into a meeting. For the record, you were never a wallflower. Great message. Thank you, Chief. We'll run to your meeting and keep on slaying, my friend. Okay? Keep on slaying. So when you're choosing to, not fit in, you're not being rejected. You're being positioned. And when you choose to show up fully, that mind, the body, the image, the present, you just don't stand out. You are leading. Okay, so that's where we go to the leading part. This is a leadership thing. This is a leadership thing. All right. We are all leading our communities in different ways. People see us as our role models. We are walking the walk and talking the talk. We're embodying what they want. And so when we do that, we are in leadership mode. Okay. We're telling people, all right, we got our little flag, follow us. Okay. The in crowd over here wants to be safe. They want to be secure. They want to talk the same way, because if you out of line, out of pocket, then you trying to do something like more than them, and they don't like that. All right. So that's when you need to start to say to yourself, I need to create my own community of people who get me. And okay, so I'm looking at my notes, y'all. I'm trying to make sure that we can close this out right. Don't chase the crowd. Okay. Please do not chase the crowd. All right. It's easy to do, but I'm telling you right now, do not do that. And y'all, I'm living my best life. I really am. Now, this office is a little bit crazy back there. If I turn around the screen, you'd be like, wow, she got a lot going on. But you know what? It's the things that I want. And when I step out, I'm always in the mindset about stepping in with presence that is different, that is unique to me, because I'm one of one. All right. And you're one of one. So that is the Rise and Slay morning show. Hopefully you got something out of it. Kim says your booth is inviting. It stands out from the norm. Thank you, Kim. And so I want to thank everybody here who was live with me this morning. We had Leslie, we had V10 Haas. All right. And then we had on the Facebook side, I've got Warren, another chief, retired chief. Okay. Sandra, her husband actually put me into the military. All right. And at the time, he was a technical sergeant. Gay. So thank you so much. I know he's probably thinking to himself, how does she do? Hey, when you're getting put in by great people, you never know what's going to happen. All right. And then Kim, of course, me and her were stationed together in Japan. And so she was listening in. Me and another Chief Kindler. Jim, thank you so much for being here with me too, because we were stationed together in Las Vegas, and I was actually first sergeant at the time, and he was the chief. We had a really great working relationship. It was amazing. All right, y'all. So share this with someone who you think may need this. Keep on coming back. The Slay to Success YouTube channel has got a whole bunch of videos. I will be back on the live, if you will, on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have a special guest, as always. And then I will be back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Rise and Slay morning show. So I just want you all to keep on slaying. Wait, hold on. I've got some folks over here on the LinkedIn side. Y'all over here blowing it up and I can't see it. Let me see what's going on over here. Okay. I've got Dr. Cabbage over here. A Cabbage. Is it Cabbage? Tell me how to phonetically say that. But Raina, Dr. Raina is on here. And I can't see your comments. I'll probably end up seeing the comments when I come back. But thank you so much for being here live with us this morning. I appreciate. Oh, Chevy's over there. Hey, Chevy. Good morning, Queen. Okay, and I got Slay. Love the message. Thank you. You absolutely welcome, y'all. Why aren't y'all trying to make LinkedIn? You doing the same thing? Okay, that's okay. I see y'all. So thank you so much, and I will see you all very soon. And keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.